Let's focus on a game now that took place in Lafayette, the brand new $65 million Our Lady of Lourdes Stadium on the campus of the Raging Cajuns there at Louisiana. Beautiful new stadium, totally renovated press box. They played in front of a half stadium last year because of the renovations. Ready to debut it against Rice. It's 3-0 Cajuns in the second quarter. Quentin Jackson scores from 1 yard out. Scott, look at the hole on the left side.
Yeah, that's concerning. You don't want to be able to drive through a car through the line on the 1 yard line.
Walker Howard making his debut. Remember, full circle. St. Thomas More to LSU to Ole Miss, back to Lafayette, and he's playing for the Cajuns. He'd like this one back. He tried to heave one up and take a chance, but it came up well short. Jack Kane got the interception here. And then some Rice misdirection. Scott, this is what we were talking about with their offense and the triple option. There's people running all over the place. You got 2 to the right, 3 to the left, somebody coming on the end, and you know what it leads to? It's a touchdown.
These type of offenses are all over in college football because they put defenders, discipline, and their eyes to the test every single play. You have to be disciplined. You have to, if that's your guy, you have to go with him. Let your teammate do his job, you do yours.
That was one of the things they were talking about with Rice's new head coach and his history of running so many multiple formations. The Cajuns get on the board right before the half with a 51-yard field goal from Tony Sterner, and it's 14-6. Now, near the end of the third quarter, watch what Walker Howard can do with his legs. One turn and he's in. 25 yards on the touchdown. It's 14-12, and the Cajun light show is on, and they're going to go for 2. But Howard rolling to the right, quick pass, overthrown, and he can't convert. So it stays 14-12, and unfortunately for the Cajuns, it would stay 14-12. They couldn't get any closer. Howard in his debut, 10 of 22 for 88 yards and a pick, did have 9 rushes and a touchdown. The time of possession, though, Scott, and it has to speak to the ground game and Rice's scheme, 36 minutes for the Owls.
Yeah, we saw that motion and eye candy, we call it, but they are a running football team, and they try to keep their offense on the field, stay ahead of the chains, get into third and manageable, and that's where you have to get negative plays. You have to get those offenses off rhythm. You have to get them into third and long, and they just didn't do that enough yesterday.
Here's what head coach Michael Decimo had to say after the Cajuns' opening loss to Rice.
It's kind of the nightmare offensively that you were hoping to avoid a little bit. Turned it over, self-inflicted penalties. Second half, couldn't get good field position to start, started backed up. Really felt like we kind of killed ourselves on a lot of these drives. And, it was just one of those deals, everything was just a little off. Everything was a little out of reach, a little off the mark, a little too far. I knew our team was going to be tested at some point. I knew at some point we were going to have to find out what kind of team we have and the resolve that we've got and the grit on this team. But, I didn't think it was going to be week 1, but here we are. So, told the team today, look, this is going to define our season one way or the other. We're either going to come together, we're going to, look at this tape, we're going to approach it head on and find a way to get better, or we're going to let it break us a little bit.
Look, it's not just speak. You heard what he just said there. Everything was just a little bit off. It goes back to reiterate that we're not just repeating because it's easy to say. It's true. Yeah. Everything's a little bit off. Brand new quarterback, Shelton Sampson, brand new wide receiver, used to be at LSU. New players in. They're trying things out, but they're trying it under fire, right? Yeah. You're under the lights now. Everybody's watching to try to see how the pieces fit together.
I think it's just the dynamic of college football, and we don't want to bang the drum too much, but when you have a lot of transfer portals, and that's the way college football is, these are how teams are building their teams, it takes a while. It takes a while to learn what a coach wants in technique. What he wants, how he wants me to make this play, whether it's in the run game, how you're going to blitz off the edge. So you have to learn what the coaches want out of you technique-wise. So these players are going to get better. A lot of people are overreacting after 1 week. Everybody's going to get better with time on task, and through actual game repetitions.
The brightest spotlight in Lafayette on Saturday night was certainly on number 4, the quarterback, and that's Walker Howard. As we mentioned, he was a standout Cougar at St. Thomas More, just about, 10 minutes from campus there at Louisiana. Then he came to LSU, couldn't fit because there were some big names and Heisman Trophy winners. Tried to go over to Ole Miss. Then he decided to come back home. A lot of pressure there. Nice early pass there. Did you see him? He hit Sampson on the left-hand side. But then he had those he'd like to get back. Scott, this is one of them. A little bit of pressure, trying to stay alive. Just heaves this one up, comes up about 2 yards short with the interception. So we saw some mistakes. We saw some nice passes. And we saw what he could do with his legs. He's got that 25-yard run for the touchdown, which actually brought them within 2 points of this ball game. But initially, your thoughts on what you saw from Walker Howard?
Yeah, it was a little bit of a mixed bag, but I think for Walker, he's in a tough situation. It's always tough. You go home, there's a lot of hype. Anytime you're going from playing at LSU and Ole Miss, and people have huge expectations for you. So he's a great player. He's been a really good player. He's been a highly recruited player. Him and Shelton Sampson will get that dynamic duo going at some point. They were both together at LSU. Shelton had 4 catches for 59 yards. So I think at some point they will get that timing and rhythm down. But I think, again, just like we talked about Retzlaff with Tulane, the legs were part of his game that people didn't know that he had yesterday.
Absolutely. You see the total yards there. Look at the rushing yards for Rice. 206 of the 251 total yards. Again, it goes to that scheme that Rice likes to use. And when it came time to the red zone, well, Cajuns never got in there. Rice was 2 for 3, and then we talked about it earlier. The time of possession. 36 minutes for Rice as they dominated possession. They don't dominate the game, but they got the win by 2. And now Louisiana will look to get its first win of the season next weekend. Well, they'll stay at home and welcome Matt Viator and the Cowboys from McNeese.